I am going to take a page out of Nathan's book and do a bit of a fun turn like that, because let's face it, when you're in a sporty car like this, then it's worth doing. This is a brand new Lexus IS350 all-wheel drive F-Sport. And of course the question is it worthy of that F-Sport badge? Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. Now, a few years ago, Akio Toyoda, the president of Toyota and of course Lexus, said Toyota and Lexus cars are boring. And he set out a mandate to the designers to make it more interesting, more engaging, more lively. And this is the result. Basically a car that's gone from vanilla to, well, Cherry Garcia. Under the hood is a 3.5 liter V6 that puts out 306 horsepower and 277 pound-foot of torque. It is mated to all-wheel drive and a 6-speed transmission with paddle shifters and a secret Sport Plus setting. You know what? It sounds okay. In a day when they pipe the engine noise back into the cabin to give you a feeling of sportiness, you know, it's okay. It's not like a small block Chevy in the Corvette, but my favorite part is, Kyle, move the camera over here. Watch what happens when you rev it. Oh, you gotta love that. Check out how it turns red. Let you know that you're in the power band. Voila! Look at that. Plastic cover, more plastic. At some point you finally reach metal. Oh, I missed the days when you could actually see the engine and appreciate the craftsmanship and the work that went into creating a beautiful block of metal that powers a beautiful car like this. But we live in the wrong day and time. Whoops, almost forgot something. There, no Lexi were hurt in the making of this review. Sport Plus Plus. Here we go. It says, oh, okay. All right, well, that test almost broke the camera. Apparently you can brake torque it. And it will take off like a scalded cat. That'll be good when we do the 0 to 60. But we won't have a camera on my face, at least not in front of my face. From a design standpoint of view, this is the most aggressive Lexus since perhaps the LFA. I love this grille, and I especially like this design cue. It's this cutout LED that's not part of the headlight cluster. It's unique, and I think it's something that sets this Lexus apart from the rest of the competition. So the question I asked at the very beginning of this review is it worth the F-Sport badge? Of course, BMW has their M cars, Audi has their S cars, the list goes on and on. But the difference between those cars and this Lexus, of course, is that they have more horsepower. You can probably see where my knees are at now. Keep in mind I'm pretty tall, 6'2". So yeah, it's tight back here, but you know what? I kind of like that because unlike the current 3 Series, which is much bigger, almost a 5 Series in fact, this car still retains that kind of small car, sporty sedan size. And when you're in the front seat, it doesn't matter. When you're back here, yeah, it's tight, but you know what? You're not buying this car to transport a lot of people in the back seat. I think you're buying it because it handles well and it's fast and fun to drive. This car does have a unique feature in this little rotary dial, and when you turn it, what happens is you go from a mild-mannered sporty car to a very sporty luxury car. When you go into S Plus mode, the steering sharpens up, the suspension gets more taut, and of course the shift points change so that when you floor it like this, you're right where you want to be in the power band. But, and this is a big but for me, it still only has, and I say only with trepidation because 306 horsepower is a lot. I remember I had a 300ZX twin turbo that had 300 horsepower, and man, in the day that was fast. Now 306 is nothing to laugh at, but if you're into M car territory or Audi S territory, you really need something that has more power. I would like to see a turbo on this. Maybe even since it's a Toyota underneath, I'd love to see some kind of a hybrid system like the GS that gives it more power. I think the perfect number would be about 400 horsepower because even though the steering is very tight and the engine note is aggressive and the car really does transform into a very sporty sedan, 300 horsepower today, just not enough, guys. You really need to get up there and give it some real in-your-face, I'm gonna scare you when you floor it. I'm gonna burn some rubber. I'm gonna show that M3 next door and that S4 over there, who's the king of the hill. I'm gonna torque it a little bit. All-wheel drive. There goes. Good takeoff. I've got it floored. There's the power. And here comes 60 right there. There you have it. 7.39. Now, for all of you C-level types, you can take a second out of that because that's how faster a car will be when you get it to where the air is denser. But nevertheless, I'd like to see more power, more speed, more fun, more cojones, as Nathan would say. All right, guys, I'm gonna try it one more time. This time, I'm just gonna floor it. I'm gonna turn the traction control back on. So, traction control on, keep it in Sport Plus mode, but just simply floor it and see how fast it is that way. Here we go. That's just floored. Yep, a little bit slower, so can't get below 7 up here at a mile above sea level. Maybe if like Emmy tried it, she'd probably do it. She's much lighter than I am. On the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I'm gonna give it 2 ratings. If you're looking for a luxury car that's sporty and fun to drive, then definitely buy it. It's a sexy beast. However, if you're looking for a sports car that's fast and furious, then I say lease it because it needs 100 more horsepower. It's that simple. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.